I'm challenging myself to buy 10 properties within 24 months, and I'm bringing y'all along with me. So far, I've taken L's, and it wasn't financial L's, but it was more so L's to where it can kind of make me get a little discouraged a little bit and kind of doubt myself. But I'm a self motivated person, and I know what I want, and I know I'm going to accomplish it, and I know how to get there. And I just see it as one step in the road and getting there. So like for example, like I'm not gonna go into too much details. That's gonna be on another episode. But for example, one property we didn't get the offer accepted. Um, I was kind of like upset about that, but it's part of real estate, and multiple people has told me already. Real estate, there's a lot of challenges that come with it. Another property, for example, we did get the property. They accepted the offer, but there was a lot of challenges, a lot of hurdles we had to go through, so we ultimately ended up pulling out. I'll get into more into that on a different episode. But I'm excited to bring y'all along on this journey because there's so much to talk about, so much to fill you guys in on that, I'm kind of excited to do. So the purpose of this channel, to start, I'm not a millionaire yet, but I am a person that owns a house. I have a HELOC, and I have plans for generational wealth. Um, this channel is kind of like a note to myself also, just to later down the line come back to these videos and kind of see like, wow, this is how I started off. And just I like to do a self-reflection on where I was before compared to where I am now. And a lot of these videos I can't wait to reflect back on a year, 2 years later to see how far I've came. um I want to share y'all share with y'all this journey just because like I want to be fully transparent, and I want y'all to understand like how authentic this is, to see the process of you know how I got the funds that I did have, how I'm getting into real estate, buy my first property, second property, third property, everything, and to bring y'all along the way to show that not only I can do it, other people can do it too. So I kind of want to show y'all the journey, and hopefully inspire a lot of other people who have a little bit of interest in real estate to jump in and also. Um, so like I said, I am going to show y'all the good, the bad, the ugly, the really ugly. But like I said, I'm going to be fully transparent about everything. Um, and I also like during this process too, I will be using a specific method called the BRRRR method. And I did a lot of research on different kind of methods, and this particular method was the one that stuck out most to me. I even created, I got a little bit of background within, well, not a little bit of background. I got background within data analytics and project management. So, I was able to create like a spreadsheet where I can basically using the BRRRR method, it will show me a simple return on investments. And basically, all you got to do is enter in the purchase price, the rehab budget, the closing costs, the ARV, which is the after repair value, and then the refinance loan to value. And I'll go into that more within another video. So basically, the spreadsheet calculates the total all in cost, the max refinance loan to value, and then the amount that I'll either have left in the deal, the amount that I'll be walking out of the deal with, or if I'm breaking even. So that kind of like gives me a good little. It basically it gives me like a good little starter point when looking at properties to know if this is a good property to really invest in. So that's another thing that I'm gonna also share with you guys through the step by step process when I'm looking at properties. Um, so how I got into real estate, and I think this is really important. Growing up, I didn't grow up in a financially stable household throughout my entire life, and throughout the way, reaching a level of success to where I am today, I've had mentors, and a lot of common things that my mentors are currently in, and has pushed me to get into is real estate. I see what they do one of my mentors already sold all of his properties, and he owns his own business, and uh he told me how much money he actually made off of buying those properties 10, 15 years ago, and his method that he chose. But like I said, one common thing was that they are in real estate. They invested in real estate. And throughout my time, I did a lot of research. And me personally, I try to do what all the rich people doing. I'm like I said, I'm not a millionaire yet, but I will be one day. So I try to do what all the millionaires are doing, which is research what they're doing, what they're investing in, what they're hiding money or putting money in, and how they go through tax write-offs, or how they go through certain write-offs, and what type of business ideas they do. And the common thing that I always came across was real estate with the rich people. They always in real estate. I see a lot of videos of interviewing millionaires, and they're in real estate. And that also what drew me to real estate. Also the financial stability. Financial stability on my list is probably number one on my list that I want, because like I said, growing up with financial instability, that's one thing that I want to create for myself and my family, my future family. So, and I know real estate is like literally the number one thing that you can do to create financial stability, especially through like my research when it comes to having rental income and having income through equity. So, like on a real estate property, I learned that you can have income in multiple ways. You can have income. Well, yeah, on one rental property, you can have income in two ways. You can have it through rental income, and you can have it through equity gaining, because properties go up. I think I seen it was around 3 to 5%. And also too, I do want to highlight too that I am still learning. This all of this is really raw, learn as I go type of thing. So if I'm wrong, please comment, let me know if I'm wrong. And because I'm really open, I like constructive criticism in ways too, but I also like people who are, I like feedback, because I know I'm not always right. I might not be always right, but then I do wish, well, not wish, but necessarily wish, but I do hope that, if I am wrong, people will correct me and I can learn from that, like kind of like help me learn along the way, because ultimately I'm trying to be the best business professional I can be. So definitely. Uh, and then also, like I was saying with the rental income, right? So I think I saw that properties go up like 3 to 5% a year. So, for example, you own a property year one, in 10 years, you might have like what, over 50, 100,000 in equity, depending on how much the value of the house is, the area, and all different factors. That's all the things that I learned. And 10 years, 20 years down the line, you buy that property, you want to sell that property, shoot, you up like 100,000 in equity on that property. And not only you gain equity on that property, you was gaining rental income every single year on that property. That was another thing that stuck out to me, to have that monthly income through rental income along with equity. That was one of the things that stuck out with me, because I know to build a foundation, you can either take the fast route or the slow route. And that's the slow route that I would take, that I kind of wanted to start off taking. There are other methods to being rich, like wholesaling and things like that, which I could break down on in another video, but that's not like kind of like how I wanted to start off. That's something I eventually get into, but not at this moment. Um, so my plans going forward definitely is, I plan on showing you guys like really raw things, like uh when I go to the properties, if I'm able to. I gotta check the guidelines and the policies, but hopefully I am able to film and take pictures and upload it to my channel, um, of these properties. Kind of like talk you guys through of what I'm looking for in certain properties, what I like, what I don't like. If I will submit an offer on the property, um, and maybe even word from my real estate agent too, as we look at the properties too. Maybe he will chime in on that, maybe not. You never know. Uh, Also, I want to show you guys how I find the properties, the websites that I do use. Right now, I do use Zillow, but I have heard um, through other people, like shout out to Ant. He put me on to a couple other websites to use to find properties too. So I'm, like I said, I'm always open to keep feeding me information so I could keep growing and learning. Also, I plan on showing y'all the property before, during renovations, and after. So the current house that I own right now, I purchased it. It was an off market. I purchased it. It was an off market sale. I purchased it from the owner. I went through the rehab process. Uh, the before, I had before pictures, during pictures, and after pictures that I will share in another episode. Basically, that's kind of like when I want to show y'all, along with what I did with this property, but with the next property that I do buy, I want to show y'all the whole process of that, and then the after renovations, which is going to look sweet, the pictures, the videos, and then also lastly, I want to show y'all with the pricing. I want to be basically full transparent with y'all when it comes to the pricing. Like I said, that spreadsheet that'll also give y'all a good overview and a breakdown of my thought process and why I pursue certain properties, what makes sense to me to pursue the property, but then also full transparent on how much I'm gonna get back, how much I'm estimating to get back on the deal. You know, sometimes when buying a property and you have like a rehab budget, sometimes properties might go over budget, under budget. So tips that I use to stay under budget, having a contingency funds just in case anything happens. Um, Also the pricing for how much my contractor is charging me to take care of certain works. That's other things that I want to do to show you guys that if I can do it, you could do it too. And you know, I'm not looking for anything in return or anything. I just have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experiences that I want to share and talk to you guys about. So that's it for this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm excited for this channel, this new channel. And you know, hope to get all the love and support. Thank you guys. Have a good one.